Nobody no business, business. Nobody no business, business. Nobody no business, them no care. Tell me why. Nobody no business, business. Nobody no business, business. Nobody no business, them no care. You understand? Yes, teachers strike with you, but who them teach can read same way. Nobody no business, them no care. Them no care, man. The budget cut for education, then how it no cut for the commission. Nobody no business, them no care.
Greetings and salutation. Of course, here's another Mackie conscious view. As I always say, this is my view, my opinion. Some people may like it, some may not, but please bear in mind that is just how I see it. Today I want to talk about the education system in Jamaica. And in my view, the education system in Jamaica at this point in time, I think it has failed. I don't want to cast any blame. I just want to do an analysis and see where we are today, and of course I would like to make my views and my suggestions of what can we do better. As far as I'm concerned, I hear the government talking about an extension to sixth form. So I choose to start this by the comparison as to what used to happen versus what is happening now. There was a time when students would start school at age 6 or 7. You would go through the infant school, primary school. Those were government school, where you have 30 students in a class, 25 to 30 students in a class. You finish, you do a common entrance, then you go to secondary or high school. After that, you probably maybe go to college or university. Then you would end school at a particular age. You could start your life, start your career. Some students would have started their career a certain time. In those days, we used to have dictionary when you want to look up a word. You want to know the meaning of a word, you find a dictionary. Those days you want to go and study something. You used to do evening class, you want to study, you have to go and sit in the library. You have to get the encyclopedia. Every school had a library. You go to the public library, parish library, and you do all your researches and all these things, and people were able to finish school at a certain age, get competent and qualified, whether you're competent with your skills or your qualification, and you could forward to the university. Studies were just as hard, the same. There were no internet, and people used to finish. We had doctors, we had lawyers, we have businessmen, we have teachers, we have all other strata of people in the society. And people would get to a certain age and a stage in their life where they could achieve their goal. People would have their family and their children. People come together, have their children, have their life and their house and every single thing there is with that kind of system. Forward to this now, in the 2020s, 2022, this year that is. We have a system where children start going to school at 2 years old. 2 years old. They go to private school, one-to-one teaching. They go to prep school, a lot of money teaching, personalized teaching, pay for teaching. Some of them never even go to the government school, prep school, pay for a school with 5 or 10 people in a class, 20 people the most, one-to-one teaching. All the today gadgets there are that you can think of. You can click on the phone and you find the meaning of a word, synonyms, antonyms, all those things. All of the educational tools are far advanced to what people used to use in those days. These children should be 10 and 20 times more brilliant than those days when children were going to school. They are smarter today. They should know more than those people in those days. So what is going wrong? Tell me, where do we go wrong? And if all of that up to this point in time, it is still considered that people are not doing well at grade 5 or 5th form in high school, that you want to mandate the 6th form, means that something is terribly wrong. It tells that something is terribly wrong and we need to dissect it and find the problem, because if we don't find the problem, we will continue trying to make solutions. As far as I'm concerned, if people don't leave school at a certain age, because as much as brilliance and age come together, age is a factor. Because many persons are now leaving school late, and by the time you get your career, you are 35 years of age. That is when you should have at least 3 children or start your family. That's when you should finish having children. That's why so many people nowadays don't have any children. Because the age at which you start your life after going to university and get your degree and your degree and your degree and your degree, after a while you are in a position where you cannot even start your family life. Then everybody is late, and the time to achieve something you get to what we call out of work age. Nobody's higher than you at certain age. So if we don't really restart, rehash and rebalance the system going to crash in no time. There are certain factors that could cause all of that. There was a time when teachers used to be what we call real teachers. Those persons that were teachers, they go to university or they go to study to be a teacher because they love teaching and want to teach. We move forward to a time when teachers just wanted a career. You want a career, and the easiest way to get a career is to go to the teacher's college. So people going to the school to be a teacher, they did not want to be a teacher, they do not love teaching, they just do it as a career. Where technically they really don't care more than just the salary. So some teachers, we have great people who are teachers who really put their necks on the blocks for the student and try to make things work. Those days, teachers used to ensure that a child learn. And if you're not learning, you go and get the ruler and the strap, they literally beat you to learn. Their discipline and principles and all these things were administered to the children by the teachers. If you're not getting X amount of grade, you stand up in the corner, you get lines, you get your homework, and if you don't get it, you don't this and you don't that, and teacher would put you on a certain level of punishment, and if certain things now go on, them call your parents. If you see you're not doing anything at school right, they call your parents. Now we're into an era where if you're not learning, that's your business. Because the teacher can't administer any punishment at all. Because if they should administer any punishment according to the new system, you call your parents, and your parents come to school and fight even the teacher. You dance as a bat, and your parents come and fight teacher. We have a system where I am aware of a particular school board that a teacher is absent about 40 times. And it take 2 years and they can't fire the teacher because of the system, all these systems and red tape and whatever there is, and these children are not learning anything because the teacher is absent from class. Where is the system and where is the accountability? If a lot of teachers don't care and the teachers don't care, nobody care, they get the pay at the end of the month just the same, you know. Imagine a class with 30 students and everybody is getting 30%. Whose responsibility is that? Is a class assigned to a teacher that if you don't get a certain result, you will be off the school, you will be out of teaching, you are not qualified or competent. These are accountabilities. Whose fault? I see school where nobody pass CXC from a class, but the teacher teach next year just the same. What are the reasons why the teacher don't business? Could it be salary? Or could it be just that they don't care? Or could it be they can't administer punishment, they can't talk to a child hard because the parent would come and cause a problem? If we don't find a way to solve some of these issues and some of these systems, we are going to be growing a set of children that don't understand quite a few things. And you cannot administer anything because you're afraid of what the parent can do. Some parents have never been to a PTA meeting to hear what your child is doing. So we're running into a system where the education system is failed. As far as I'm concerned, there are 2 subjects that a child must learn in school. Maths and English, those should be mandatory. Every child must ensure that you get maths and English. All emphasis, because as far as I'm concerned, many of the subjects that are taught in school, many of the children will not be going to that direction. Of course, you prepare them just in case. There are some students that are not doing well academically and we still force it. We force it upon them to be academics. Everybody will want to be doctors and lawyers and the great scientists when their academics is not carrying them that way. As far as I'm concerned, the solution to some of these systems is that we need to teach everything in school, a little of this, a little of that. We need to start teach the school curriculum. I frankly believe that the curriculum needs to change to accommodate a lot of skills. You incorporate everything from the prep school. Learn to fix your tire, learn to change a spark plug, learn to drive a nail, something about farming, something about music, something about every little thing there is. Learn to fix a pipe. All these should be incorporated in the curriculum where students can start getting to determine whether they like them or they don't like them, or whether or not this is something they can, if anything, you can fall back on it. When my father was 40 years old, he was a tiler. He had 7 children and he had a 5-bedroom house. How many 40-year-old person? He was just a tiler. You see, we keep pushing the curriculum. We push the curriculum more so on the side of academics. I see a particular secondary school where most of the students from the GSAT they get students with the lower GSAT grades because you want to call that school secondary. But at the end of the term, when they are reading out the results, or you're making presentation to the government as to the results from your school, and the only results they are turning out is how many CXCs, how many pass CXCs. When you give an award at the graduation is how many CXC passes. That means, of course, we want our children to be educated, but there's intelligence that is beyond education. It is how you use your education. You read out how many CXCs, you award them at graduation, 15 CXC, 17 CXC. What if we had say how many have the potential to be a great mechanic as well? We can award them too. How many we are turning out to be good artists? How many we turn out, so we end up with a nation that feel that the only way to get ahead in life is only academics and not skill. So the youths are moving away when they find that they don't have the academics, the qualification to be academic. They probably choose a different route of existence and survive. And it coming like it is like even the ladies want to attach themselves to those with those academic qualities. And if you don't have those academics, you are nothing. Do you know that many persons who are non-academic earn a lot more than persons who are academic? A man sells soup on the roadside and he makes $16,000 a day, $30,000 a day. A man sells porridge. Is he academic? A tiler that earns so much per week and per month. A mechanic, he fixes an engine for so much. A painter, a mason, a plumber. I went on a construction site with some men, and when I hear the man, they measure up them work and hear how much money they get in 1 week. But yet, we only culture the generation to think that the only way you can make it in life, you must be academic. When the world is moving away from even human beings at work. Physical work, we need to start push people back into being physical. We need to start push people back into being skilled. People should learn more than one thing. Everyone can be a farmer if it's even for yourself. I know a lady that owns a large establishment and all her children have to be farming in the backyard. They eat from the backyard. Did they learn this in school? This is not on the curriculum. All that's on the curriculum is trade you into passing your CXCs. Nothing is wrong in passing all the subjects because you can have children that are brilliant and you must push them into their brilliance. But what about the others? We push everyone. If you have a student doing biology in class, and every time he gets 30%. But when he draws the anatomy, the human structure, the skeletal system is like a painting. The heart is like a painting, is like a drawing from the textbook. And we still cannot understand that we should stop fight that child to be academically inclined when that child is an artist by profession. So if the education system are not training people to identify the different activities of the student that we can turn them out into the direction that they are most competent. We end up in a society with everyone feeling that the only way to exist and survive and prosper is that you must go to the university. How about the skills training? Start the skill training from high school, from prep school. Every school must have the option where people can determine if they like something else and we try to move them into it. You know, many persons that work with so many subjects and all they get at the end of the week is a salary that remains the same. that salary remain the same, and for them to make it in life, they have to start thinking of doing outside the box, if whatever outside the box mean. Right now, if we don't readjust the academic system to take in people with skills, we don't rehash the academic system to start train the average man that every single thing is equally important, we are setting a system where the only thing to pass is your subjects. And what if you don't? People start lose confidence in themselves, and the youth start doing things outside the box to make a living because they don't have the qualification. We talk about some youth that scam. You know that some youth that scam don't have any education. How is it that them scam who have education? Because people are smart. People are smart. So we must be able to determine and use people's smartness to the best of their ability. So I think the government, if so be the case, need to pay the teachers well. And when you pay them well, you give them accountability. There is no teacher that should teach 20 children in a class and 19 of them fail, and you still go back to school next term. We need to start finding people who are competent, qualified teachers, and not people with academic qualification who are not teachers and have no inclination nor no intention of being a teacher, but to collect a pay at the end of the month. And unless we turn around the system, the beginning of sorrow might just be here. The other day I see something about the government want to import skilled workers. So what do we have here? The persons who have no skill, they are not being pushed to believe that it is skill that can make you what you are. Many of us make life, even though we might be academically inclined, but many people have gotten all there is academically, but they have made life out of something with their hands. Many persons right now that have a job, them have to have a second job in order to make it in life. So I would say we need to re-examine the educational system. A youth need to leave this bright generation who is brighter than the rest of us in our time. Where we start to go to school when we are 6, they go to school from 2. Children need to leave high school at 15 years of age, and you must be bright enough to move on either into your career or you move on into your academics. I mean career, I mean your physical career. Whether you want to be a mason or a mechanic, then who can move to college for another 2 years. That makes you 17 when you're finished college. And when you finish university, you should be at least 23 years, finalize your career and start making money. Before you reach age 30, you can have 2 children. Especially if you find someone in your life with you where you can partner together, that you can continue in a life. You can continue a life of family where 2 people share, where they share by a house together, you have your children together and whatever. That is how the system used to work. The system is now working solo because people are not balanced. Because a woman wants to attach themselves to someone that is capable of assisting something. Sometimes they pick up who they don't really want. Simply because everybody is looking help and people not making the way they should. The education system must change. And if you don't change your education system, because if all the gadgets and all there is to make you learn more, why are people learning less? The system needs accountability, and something must change so people can start their life earlier, achieve things earlier, and by a certain age they can have something. Jaliv, this is another Mackie Conscious view.